Hey, hi, hello everyone. This is Shalini Joshi Amdagni, and welcome to this week's episode of, um, this episode is all about questions that you may have. We'll be addressing issues with chronic pain, physical pain, whether it's emotional pain, stresses that you may have. And I'm going to be addressing some questions that were asked either on Facebook or that have come to me through email. So today is not, sharing different stories and tips. It's really, answering questions that have come up with people who've been following. And also in this episode, I'm going to actually teach you the EFT tapping sequence and how you can use it to address different physical symptoms that you may be having, whether it's a physical symptom, whether it's an emotional symptom, or even, some real like physical dis-ease that you have, because, a lot of the times over the past 10 years, I have worked with clients with all kinds of issues, whether it was diseases like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, autoimmune disorders, and transmandibular joint problems, or physical aches and pains with lower back or knee pain or joint pain, and also emotional issues like anxiety and stress and relationship pain. So there are so many times when clients who have come to me have already gone to doctors and have gone to different treatments and therapies, and sometimes despite all the lab tests and the x-rays and the reports that they get, like nothing seems to be really the problem, or so they are told, like there's no problem. But you know that there is a problem because you feel the pain, you feel the discomfort, you feel the dis-ease, right? And so some of the questions that have come up, I will be sharing with you about, what questions have come up for these people, and maybe you can relate to it and get some answers yourself. If you have questions right now about any of the issues that I've mentioned, feel free to post them below because I will address them. So hi Ram, hi Kimchi, all the way from US. So nice to have you here. So, if you have any questions right now, I know Ram is very familiar with EFT tapping. If you have any questions right now about any of these issues, feel free to post them, and we will be doing some live tapping. So, one of the questions that gets asked over and over and over again is, Shalini, how do I get to the underlying issues? Like, how do I know what the underlying issues are? Because, they have so many symptoms going on. They have so many things going on at the same time, right? And so how do I know that I have, what is the underlying issue? Or I wrote it somewhere here. Where do I begin? Yeah, that was the question. So there's so many issues. Where do I begin? Okay, that's one of the questions that came up. So if you relate to this this question, like I have so many issues, I have so many stresses, maybe it's not top of the roof kind of crazy stresses, but we're all stressed. So where do I begin? If you relate to this, share below. Yep, that sounds like me. I relate, right? You can just write I relate, so I know what's going on with you, and I can address that. So if there are lots of if there are issues and you have the question, where do I begin? So one of the easiest ways, right, to tell that you have some issues is your breath. That's right. Your breathing, is the first thing that gets affected, because imagine that God gave you 100% of energy like fuel, right? And normally your breathing should be from the diaphragm. Like you should be having a deep breath. And when you take why don't you do this right now? Take a deep breath. Okay. And if that breathing is not all the way into your diaphragm, right? It's usually a lot of people have very shallow breathing, like they can only do that much. And I know because I used to be one of those people. So one of the easiest way to address whatever is going on with you, whether it's an emotional pain, whether it's a physical pain, or any kind of issue, right? Notice your breathing, okay? So if you have constriction in your breathing, it's a sign that it's not 100% flow. And usually we're never at 100%, right? We don't have it all perfect, but you want to get to a point. So on a scale of 0 to 10, when you take a deep breath in, 10 is, yep, I got a really deep breath in. Or usually what people will say, it's a 7 or it's at a 5. Some have said 2, some have said 4. So, you can just breathe right now and say, where's my, how deep can I breathe? 10, it's a full deep breath, or it's a shallow breath. So the question, where do I even begin? That's where you can begin, right? So if you just put a hand on your heart, okay, just put a hand on your heart right now, because we are all, on such a fast-paced track. We're on the go. You're here listening to me. Maybe you have to rush right now in the middle of this. And we are so busy and on the go that we don't even notice that we need to slow down. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to request you right here, right now, just to put a hand on your heart. It's the easiest thing. This is not EFT tapping, but these are tips and tricks and tools that I've learned over the last decade, right, to help myself. And one of the things that I do is when I'm getting all frenzy and there's no time to tap, I just put a hand on my heart. Just take a deep breath in. And just allow yourself to slow down. And that's the basic first step, which is so simple. Getting yourself back to the awareness of your breath. I'm here. I'm not there where I'm worrying about. I'm not in the future that all the future stuff that I'm worrying about. I'm here in this present moment. And your breath allows you, and this hand on your heart, it's a physical touch. It makes you presence yourself to this now moment. So no matter what's going on with you, if you just, and there's all this science, they have this Heart Math Institute, and they have all this science about touch, and you can Google it, how touch affects you and your system and your immunity and your nervous system and, your whole flow and everything. But doesn't it just feel good to put your hand on your heart and just comfort yourself and get yourself back into your body, back into the awareness of now? And that itself begins a wonderful process of healing your issues. It's okay. You know how you would comfort a child? Well, that's what you can do. And that's where you can begin anytime, anywhere. Come back to your breath. Notice if you have constriction in your breathing. Then just put the hand on your heart and breathe, okay? So that's one of the easiest, most basic things that you can do. And I'm going to teach you a little tapping routine as we go on so that you can address this, what we call in EFT, constricted breathing, right? You have constricted breathing when when you're shallow breathing and you don't feel like you have this deep down, deep breath. You're not able to take those deep breaths, okay? Now, on a scale of 0 to 10, you want to ask yourself, how deep could I breathe? And even if you just do this simple technique and just allow your body to relax and not be in this fight or flight kind of, state. And we are always in this flight or fight state because that's what stress is, right? So much research has been done on the stress, how overly stressed we are and how overly on the go. And, so there's always something. going on, to-do lists, or worries about the family, worries about the children, your health, your work. There's just like endless things that we've got on our mind. So your body is always on this alert state, right? And it's never in this relaxed zone. It's always alert. I've got to do this, and I've got to do this, and what about that, and what about that? And so we are always all over the place and never here. And it's these stressors that we have in our life, right, that keep us in this flight and fight. It's like the body's at war. It's all geared up for the war today, right? And it kicks in all these stressful hormones, stress hormones, right, which is the cause, as they say medically, of like all the inflammation and all these issues with chronic illnesses. That's what's going on. There's like the body is on constant stress mode, constantly releasing these stress chemicals, these inflammatory chemicals that keep the body in a state of dis-ease. And over time, when you have this schedule, when you have this pace of life, then it takes a toll on your body. It impacts your immunity, it impacts your breathing, it impacts every area of your life. So the easiest way, the number way is, the question about so many issues, where do I begin? Begin with your breath. Begin with just, slowing yourself down and bringing yourself back from wherever you are, lost in your future and all the to-do things in your mind, or worries or anxieties, and get yourself back into the present, okay? Now, the other question is, how do I get to the underlying causes? Because people have been to doctors and done the tests and done all these things, and they have been on treatments and surgeries and treatments and therapies, and they're still not getting the significant relief that they're looking for. And I've often said, there are underlying causes, because whatever's going on with you that you notice as symptoms, as aches, as pains, as the label of the diseases, whether it's autoimmune disorder or chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia, or I don't know, whatever, thyroid, whatever this, that is just the tip of the iceberg. That is just the symptom, okay? And so the most important thing is to begin to have regular communication with your body. When we think of pain or disease, we think of these little ugly things that we've been stuck with, like, unfortunately this happened to me, and now how do I get rid of it? Like, it's so annoying, and this horrible thing that's going on with me. But what if you could shift your attitude? What if you could just shift your perspective? And how in a relationship, when you've got issues with your son, with your husband, with your colleagues, with your whatever, there's a communication going on, right? And in a similar way, your symptoms, your diseases, your aches and pains is the way your body is communicating with you, about what's going on inside. So what if, number one, you could just shift your perspective and stop looking at your disease, your stuff, as a problem, right? As a problem that you want to just get rid of it. Because there's so many problems, so many people that have said, I went for the surgery, I got rid of this, and now I have this other thing that's going on. I had a client who, had issues with his left shoulder, and it was really bothering him. It kept him from doing the exercises. He took medications, he took all kinds of things. And then what happened? It went away. But the next day he had it on the right shoulders. And he says, this is crazy. Like, I never had anything on my right shoulder. So, our body finds a way, no matter what you do, no matter how many surgeries you go through and you take that part out, right? The body, will continue to bother you with communication and say, hey, something needs attending, something needs looking into. I'm going to read, how can we move from being, Ram is asking a question, How can we move from being aware of our challenges to moving through it? We keep coming back to the same place over and over again. And it is mostly the same patterns. And it is as there are two parts of us. Yep. One which is aware and one which keeps us stuck. And that's a great question, Ram. That's another thing you want to be aware of, a pattern. Like it keeps happening over and over. And exactly what I'm saying, like your body will let you know that you've got like, a stuck thing. It's like a broken record. It just goes on. And there's a part of you, like Ram is saying, that you are aware, like, oh my God, I've got this again. And it's like, I had a client who said, I had pain. I used to do yoga. It went away. And then after a few years, it's back and it's even worse. So, if it's coming back and it's showing up again and again, you haven't gotten rid of it. There's something deeper, right? There's something underlying. And that's the interesting thing. And that's what we need to really address, because if you've got a pattern, there's stuck energy, right? And it really depends on what the stuck pattern is in terms of pain. Ram, I'm not sure you're talking about the same challenge. It could be a same challenge in relationship, same challenge with pain, same challenge with, whatever is going, money, right? Or I have this recurring issue with my boss. So first of all, you want to be aware, okay, that my body is letting me know through this recurring pattern that something is amiss, something is off balance. Otherwise, your body is made up of cell, and each cell is divine consciousness. And normally, these cells, when left to their own, work beautifully. You don't know how a baby is born. Like, you don't check into your every night and say, hey, is my liver working at its optimum, and are my toenails doing their thing, and is my eye function on track? You don't care. You don't even know how you're breathing. So each cell is divine consciousness and knows exactly what to do. It's when we interfere and with our thoughts, and people think, really, how does my thought create this disease? And every thought you think, right, has a chemical reaction in your body. Have you read Messages from Water by Dr. Masaru Emoto? Go read the book. It's all about how water is affected by thoughts like love and appreciation and gratitude. All have a wonderful chemical composition that happens. And he did this experiment on frozen water crystals, and the crystal composition just completely became so beautiful, so wonderful. He actually has pictures of those crystals, right? Those frozen crystals, and what happened when some positive stuff went on in there. And then there are images of this, of the same water crystal, and when negative stuff was said, like hate and anger and resentment, right? And the crystal composition of the water completely changed. It's murky, it's muddy, it's not pretty to look at. So how do you create these patterns and diseases? By the thoughts you are thinking. And each thought, right, that you think has a chemical reaction in your body. And if you have a lot of worries and upsets, and sometimes when you're stuck in a pattern, as Ram was talking about, and you don't know what it is, right? You got to go back to your thoughts. You got to be aware of, how am I thinking? What am I saying to myself? What am I repeated? I'm not sure about the exact percentage, but they say 90 to 94 to 95% of the thoughts we think every single day are the same things that we've thought yesterday and the day before. So if you have a pattern of worrying, if you have a pattern of negative beliefs, I'm not good, I'm not this, I'm not lovable, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, those thoughts, which have now become beliefs, right, have become your truths, will keep that negative pattern of thinking alive and it creates and recreates the same issues. So if you've got a pattern that you're aware of, you got to go to the underlying stuff, which is thoughts, feelings, or emotions, beliefs. Okay? Those are the most common underlying issues. Your emotions. What am I feeling about this pattern? I'm still addressing Ram. It's funny you say that. Even my complaining about this is a pattern. Exactly. And you know how you think about it is a pattern, right? I had a really silly pattern, and I'm just saying, it's not a serious thing, but it's how our thoughts create, a belief system. Even though we are not even consciously aware of that belief system, it's there because it's been going on and on. So I had this belief system, or I didn't know I had a belief system. What was happening over and over again? Every time I had to fly out for a holiday, I was sick. Like 2 days before the flight, before the holiday began, I was sick. It's not, I'm not kidding you. Another thing that I had, every time I went for a holidays, my kids make so much fun of me. Like, why aren't you getting rid of this pattern? Why aren't you doing something about it? I would lose my sunglasses every trip. It's not even funny. I mean, these were expensive sunglasses, and I lost them. Frankly, now I don't even buy. I should be tapping, and I have cleared that. But I would lose my sunglasses every trip. It's a silly pattern to be talking about, right? But that's what's going on. That's how you create it. And every time I was about to take off for the most, desired holiday, like, wouldn't you be excited? Wouldn't you be happy and like at your like happiest best, thinking like 2 days to go and I'm going to fly and I'm going to be in this beautiful place and I'm going to have a great holiday? But for me, I would come down with a flu, I would come down with a cough, I would come down with a really nasty fever, and I would be like wondering what the heck is going on. I'm excited, I'm happy. But there was a thought pattern that happened after a few times that I always get sick before I travel. And I heard myself saying that, like, oh, I don't know why, I always get sick before I travel. And without even knowing it, my subconscious had lodged that information as my truth. And so every time I was about to travel and I wasn't really stressed or anything, that belief pattern would kick in and I would be, for some reason or the other, I would be sick. So, you really, that phrase, know thyself, is so true. Know yourself, know your body, listen to your thoughts, listen to your body's communication. It's the only way, there are so many relationships out there that are really dear to us, right? But your relationship with your body is the most important relationship you have, because it will be with you till you die. And so might as well, start developing a relationship with it. Might as well start saying, this is interesting. I'm having this ache. I'm having this pattern. What are the thoughts? What do I usually say to myself about this pattern? As Ram was saying, even complaining about this pattern. I was complaining about I'm always sick before I travel. But that had become my truth. And so now, without even anything happening, no stress around, here comes my body, my truth knows, right? I'm going to travel. And then there kicks in this limiting belief that I didn't even realize. And I just thought, that's so funny. I just keep getting sick before I travel. So I don't know what you're relating to right now. But if you have something that's going on and on and on, you got to get to the underlying issues. Like all our chronic illnesses, our diseases that can't be identified on a lab test, on an x-ray, because I've been there. I've been through all of these things, right? They couldn't figure out what the heck to do with me. And so they douse me with like over medicating and just trying different things. But I'm inviting you to a different way of taking care of yourself, taking care of your health, taking care of your issues, your challenges, by going back to yourself and becoming aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. If you have a pattern, talk to a friend about it and see what you end up saying. Record it, right? Record it and see what you end up saying about that pattern. Like, I don't know what this is, just the whole story. Last week I did a Facebook Live on your story is keeping you stuck. So if you want to go back and listen to that one, but the way to uncover like all your beliefs and stuff is just talk to a friend about this pattern that you have and record yourself and say, okay, I'm saying all these things and that's why I'm feeling stuck. And so you've got to go and release those limiting beliefs, those limiting patterns. And I've put a link above that if you would like a personal private consultation and you would like to get private guidance, you can click on the link above this. But I am going to lead you into a live tapping session. So how do I get to the underlying causes? Okay, and what exactly do I tap on? Okay, so one of the things, as I was saying, is you can simply, no matter what issue you're going on, and I know Valerie, I don't know if you're live here, but I have your question about depression. So whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, whether it's physical pain, whether it's constriction in your breathing, right? Whatever issue you've got going on mentally, one of the things that you can do anytime, anywhere, this is a general tap, is tap on the constriction in your breathing, because that is a sign from your body that I'm not being able to get the 100% energy flowing. It's constricted. It's like a jam in your system. It's like the traffic jam in Thailand where I live, where it's all jammed up. So the flow is all constricted. So one of the easiest things to do, and I'm going to lead you through this EFT tapping routine right now. Okay, so if you don't know about EFT, EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. It's not a technique, it's techniques. I should be adding the S, but I don't have my pen here. And it is a mind-body tool, right? And I'm sure by now you've read lots and lots of books on change your thoughts, change your life, change your thoughts, change your health, change your thoughts, change your relationships and stuff like that. So this is a mind-body tool. And it's basically, it's a combination, it's a mix between psychological issues and using the ancient acupuncture technique where you tap on key energy meridians. In India, we have the chakra system, which is what yoga is all about. If you're not aware, when you're doing yoga, what are you doing? You're balancing your energy system, the 7 chakras, right? So you're balancing the energy system through the yoga process. And this one is you are balancing your energy, tapping on key meridians. Okay, in Chinese, they're called energy meridians, and they're located at different easy accessible points on the body. And you're just tapping on them while you're tuning in. Okay, you're becoming aware of what's going on with me right now. So know yourself. What's going on with me right now? What am I feeling right now? How am I doing physically right now, emotionally right now, mentally right now? So you tune in to what's going on with me right now, and then you become aware of it, and then you start tapping on these acupressure points to neutralize that discomfort, to neutralize that dis-ease, to neutralize, because what is emotion is simply energy in motion. It's energy. Your emotions are simply energy that's in motion, whether you're feeling sad, whether you're feeling angry. It's like a wave that's coming up. It's energy. And it's supposed to keep moving and flowing through you, out of you. But what happens oftentimes is we get pissed, we get angry, we get upset. And then we really don't do anything about it. And so as we move through life, as we move through our days, as we move through the years and the weeks and decades, we've got all kinds of stuck emotions or stuck energy, which jams our energy flow, which creates traffic jams in our flow, and eventually it overloads the system. You have constriction because you can't breathe, a full deep breath, and it creates all kinds of dis-eases and aches and pains, okay? So one of the things that you can do is use the EFT tapping. I'm going to go into the chronic pain and emotional pain later, but this is just a simple technique that you can do if you were like, I don't know where to begin, I don't know what to do, but I don't feel okay, I don't feel good. Here's what you can do. So, I'm going to share with you some of the tapping points. And what we do, this is called the karate chop point, okay? It's where you would do a karate chop. So they have all these names, simple names for easy to remember names for the different points on the body. And this is the karate chop. And what we do here is remind ourselves and, become aware of, like, what is the issue that's going on with me right now? And that it's okay that I'm feeling this way. It's okay that I'm feeling this ache and pain. It's okay. And just reminding yourself that even though you have all these things going on, you're doing the best that you can. You are a good person. You are, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. So here's where we tap and we do the, address the issue that's going on. And then I'm just leading you through the different points. And then we tap on different points. This is the eyebrow point. This is the side of the eye. It's so simple, right? This is under the eye. So I'm leading you through the different EFT points. This is basically where the acupuncturist would stick needles. Thank God we don't have to stick those needles. I've done many acupuncture sessions before. This is the chin point. And how convenient that we can just use fingertips, right, to tap. So this is the collarbone point. We have something called the under the arm point. It's just like a few inches under your arm. I don't really use this so much, but I want to share with you. And then we have the top of the head, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at, what I want you to do is just take a deep breath and notice on a scale of 0 to 10, how deep is your breath? 10, yeah, I can feel a deep, nice breath. 10, or it's constricted and it's like a 4, it's like a 5. So if you are playing along with me right now, tell me what your number is. Is it a 5? Is it a 7? Is it a 10? Then yay to you. Mine is definitely not a 10. I feel like mine is at about a 7 right now. So if you have a number, go ahead and write, I feel like a 7, like 7 or 8 or 5, whatever your number is. Just play along if you choose, if you wish. I always find that people who engage and who kind of play along is they're using the free information to the best of their ability, and there are people who get results. So, and if you're watching on replay, pause, right? Just pause the button and tune in and say, where's my breathing at right now? So Ram says he's at a 5-6. I am at a 7 right now. And so what we want to do is we're just going to address the breathing. Okay, we're going to address this problem that we're having right now is that my breathing is not 100%. So let's tap. Okay, play along. Just follow along with me and say what I'm saying and tap where I'm tapping. And then we're just going to notice if anything at all shifted. So I don't know what's going on with you physically, emotionally, mentally, but I know that your breathing is constricted. So I'm going to tap on that. So that's what you have to do with tapping. Tune in to what's going on with you and tap. So even though I have this constriction in my breathing right now, tap along, and you can tap on either side, doesn't matter. Even though I have this constricted breathing right now, and I have no clue why and what's going on, I'm just going to acknowledge the way I'm feeling, the way I'm breathing, and I choose to remind myself that I'm doing the best that I can. I'm going to switch. You don't have to switch. I'm just sharing with you that you can do it on either side. So even though I have this constriction in my breathing and I have no clue why, I'm choosing to honor all the stuff that's going on with me, even though I'm not consciously aware right now. I know that my body is letting me know that something is amiss, my breathing is not 100%, and it's okay. And I'm choosing to pay attention to my body's communication. One more time, even though I have this constriction in my breathing, and I have no clue why, I choose to love, forgive, and accept myself because really, 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 I'm doing the best that I can. Okay? So that's the tapping on the karate chop. Now follow along, and we'll be going through the different points. This constriction in my breathing, I can't get a deep enough breath. This constriction in my breathing right now, all the reasons and all the underlying causes that I'm not even aware of, whatever they are, all the reasons that I have this constriction in my breathing, all the reasons my breathing is all jammed up inside, I choose to honor what's going on with me, what's going on with my body. Okay, we're doing another round. What if it's not the end of the world? What if I can feel safe right now to release and clear and let go? All those reasons that are keeping me stuck, that are limiting me in different ways, that are creating these constrictions in my body and eventually constricting me in the different areas of my life. Who would I be if I could release and let go all these reasons for the constriction in my breathing? Another round. I'm choosing to release and let go. I'm choosing to feel safe right now and clear these underlying reasons, all the tension, all the tightness, all the constriction that I'm feeling. I'm choosing to release and feel safe and clear all that tightness, that stuckness, that stiffness, and breathe in peace. Right here, right now, all is truly well. Just take a deep breath in. Wow. So my number is definitely not a 7. I think I shifted to a 8, 9 with that round of tapping. And so did you know what was going on with me? No. Do I know what's going on with you emotionally, physically, mentally? No. But tune in right now, and if you played along, look at the number. Take a deep breath in and notice, did that shift for you? Typically, it would have shifted. And if not, hang on there, because we're going to do some more tapping. But if it did shift for you, I'd love to know what your number is right now. And I would love to, get your feedback on like what might you be feeling in your body. Do you feel more relaxed? Do you feel more ease? Do you feel more, just comfortable? And of course, how is that breathing? So Ram says 7 and 8, exactly like me. Like mine was 7, and I feel like an 8 and 9. And so without even knowing what we cleared, we addressed the divine consciousness within, the smarter us, the wiser us, and we asked it to, take care. And as we release this tension and whatever was going on, which was causing the constriction, it's like your body knows what to do. It's divine consciousness, and it will release whatever needs to be released to get yourself a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more into alignment, into its natural state of well-being. Okay, so thanks for playing along, Ram. And now to, okay, Shalini, so this is what I can do for my breathing. But as Valerie asked, like, what do I do with, how do I handle depression, right? And how do I handle, somebody had said, neck pain, or anything that's going on with you physically, emotionally, mentally. Okay, so here is tip number 2, or step number 2 after you've done the constriction in your breathing, that you can just generally do any time of the day, morning, afternoon, evening, to just get your energy back, to get the flow going better, right? Because we know when we are feeling better and you're feeling relaxed and your brain functions better, your body functions better, you can think better, you can think clear, you can make better decisions, you can be more productive, you can be more effective, you can allow more inspiration to flow through. There's just like hundreds and hundreds of benefits that happen when you do this one simple routine, okay? So now if you've got a chronic illness, if you've got depression, if you've got chronic anxiety going on, what do we do now, right? What do you tap on? So here's 3 simple things that you can do to address the underlying causes, which is really the main cause of, what are the root causes of what's going on with you physically, okay? So the 3 things you want to do is, number 1, and if you're watching this on replay, you can play along, get a pencil, paper if you need. If you have your phone, you can use that. But create like 3 columns, okay? Number 1 is the physical column, all right? So what's going on with me physically right now? And I know you may have chronic anxiety, chronic fatigue, you may have chronic pain. It doesn't matter, whatever it is that you have. If you just play along, right, and notice, take an inventory of what's going on with me physically right now. Do I have aches and pains, right? My body, my back feels a little tight in the lower back. Take a physical inventory as I'm doing right now, and my back definitely feels tight, a little tight as I move. So take an inventory of what's going on with you physically. And you can pause and you can write down, like, my shoulders feel stiff, my neck feels tight, or I feel this weight on my shoulders, a common thing, or my back is tensed, heavy. Notice what's going on with you physically and write it down. Okay, now you want to notice what's going on with me emotionally. Okay, we are addressing the underlying causes of whatever disease, chronic, or pain that you have right now. So what's going on with me emotionally? As we said, emotions are energy in motion, and blocked emotions, stored emotion, old upsetting past hurts and angers, and they all create dis-ease in your body and eventually cause disease and pain. And all kinds of, it affects you in all kinds of different ways. Impacts your life, impacts your relationships, your work. So what's going on with me emotionally? And so just, come to a still place. Just take this time and notice what's going on with you. Present, get back into the present moment. And are you feeling anger? Are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling sad? Tomorrow is solar eclipse. And whenever these eclipses come, we're going through like something emotionally, physically, lots of things happen. I'm not an astrologer. I have astrologer friends, and I know that the coming next month is full of eclipses. They call it the eclipse season, and it stirs up so many things. So get yourself back into the present moment. Maybe you can I love putting a hand on my heart because it reminds me I'm here. And notice what's going on with you physically, emotionally this time. So in the emotional column, you want to say, am I feeling worried? Am I feeling anger? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Somebody who had asked the question about depression, usually I've had clients who've had depression, and they're usually feeling hopeless. They're feeling like the spark is gone from their life. They're feeling helpless. They're feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling empty. They're feeling anxious. They're feeling, disconnected. And they don't know why they're feeling this way. And they're just feeling this numbness kind of thing, right? So tune into that. And usually, depression is kind of internalized anger, okay? So notice what's going on with you, with your specific issue right now. I don't know if you're having physical pain, if you're having work stress, if you're having a relationship issue, you have doubts, you have fears, you don't trust yourself, you're not feeling confident about something, you're feeling stuck in a pattern and you're feeling frustrated. I don't know how the heck to get out of this pattern. It's so annoying. So just notice the feelings. We are so, we're so on the go that we never take time to do this work. Interestingly, and it's this stuff, this inside that's creating the outside, right? It's the inner stuff that's creating the outer stuff. It's the root, the hidden roots that is creating the fruits and the results that you get outside. So once you've taken an inventory of what's going on, just write it down. This is how I'm feeling. So now you've got the physical column, physical inventory. You've got an emotional inventory of what's going on with me right now. Now we'll go to the third column, which is the mental inventory. Okay? So what's going on with me mentally right now? Am I worried about something? I have this to-do list in my head. I haven't figured out that stuff. I have to get this done by today. I can't figure out this. And, as Ram was saying, what the heck is this pattern all about? What's really going on? What are my thoughts about this pattern? What are my beliefs about this pain? What are my beliefs about this relationship? That's what's going on mentally right now. And we don't even know, right? We're not even aware because it's there, it's happening in the background, but we never take time. So if you just do this, right? You take an inventory of your physical, your emotional, and your mental. Okay, you'll see what's going on with you underlying, not just physically on the top with the aches and the pain, and I feel so tired and I feel so exhausted and I don't have energy and I feel tired all the time. Well, this is what's going on, is that underlying, that mental, emotional, physical stuff that's going on, that's what's keeping the stress going. The body is on alert all the time, even though you are currently listening to me. On a subconscious level, the flight and fight mode is on, and you're not even aware that you're having the struggle inside, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally. So now that you have awareness, you have data of what's going on with you inside, right? Maybe you want to, on a scale of 0 to 10, I love the scale because one of the things I think I wrote it somewhere here. One of the best ways you can use the EFT tapping technique is tune in, which is what we just did, right? We tuned in what's going on with my body, what's going on with my emotional self right now, what's going on with me mentally right now, what am I thinking, what am I feeling, what are my ideas, what are my thoughts, what are my beliefs, and then we tap. So you tune in, you tap, and you test, which is great. But how do you test? By doing a scale of 0 to 10. 10, I'm feeling really upset right now. 10, I'm really feeling really horrible. Emotionally, I'm feeling like really bad. And mentally, I'm so overwhelmed. I have so many things to do. And I have no idea how I'm going to do this. So that's 10. And 0 is, I am so relaxed, I'm so calm, I'm okay. I'm okay with me right now. I'm at peace right now. That's 0. So if you're playing along with me, even if you're watching on replay, take an inventory, look at whatever you wrote down and say, on a scale of 0 to 10, just guess, like, what's the general mood that I'm feeling? What's my vibe right now? What am I thinking, feeling? And what does it feel like? Does it feel like a 10? Really, 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 really bad? Or does it feel like a 0? Nothing's going on with me. And then you don't need to tap along. Okay, so now that you have a number, and please, join in and play along and put that number. I don't really need to know what's going on with you specifically, but once you put that number down, either on the comment section or take a paper and write it down, what's going on with you. And maybe that the physical thing is not as much as the emotional thing, or the mental thing is more, or the whichever one, doesn't matter. Just give yourself a number, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10. And now right, what's your number at. And I'm going to lead you once again through a tapping sequence, EFT tapping, Emotional Freedom Techniques tapping, which is a mind-body tool. We just used it. If you're joining me right now, Ram, thank you so much for playing along. He says it's at a 7. Okay, so now I'm going to tap again on the key acupuncture points. EFT, if you're joining new, is Emotional Freedom Techniques. You tune in emotionally, mentally, psychologically, what's going on with me right now, and you tap on physical acupuncture points to neutralize that dis-ease, that state of static that's going on with you, okay? So even though I have this challenge right now, and please feel free, always, 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 we say in EFT to get results that are terrific, be specific. So I want you, when I say the word challenge, substitute what's going on with you with that list, right? Those are the challenges, or those are the feelings of dis-ease. Substitute that in your specific case, okay? So even though I have this challenge and I have no clue how to resolve this, and I just feel so overwhelmed, so lost, so helpless, I have no idea how to overcome it. I'm choosing to acknowledge that this is what's going on with me right now. And I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself, because really I am trying my very best. Even though I have this challenge right now, and substitute your specific challenge as we are doing the tapping. I'm choosing to honor what's going on with me mentally, physically, emotionally. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's not bad, it's not good, it's just what it is. And I choose to honor myself, and I choose to forgive myself, and I choose to love and accept myself, because I'm trying my best. One more time, even though I have this specific challenge right now, and I don't know how I'm going to get over this, I'm choosing to forgive myself. I'm doing the best that I can. And I'm choosing to love and accept myself. I'm trying my best. Okay, we're going to move to the other point, so tap along. This challenge that I have right now, this physical stress on my body, all these emotions that are coming up for me right now, the helplessness, the anger, the frustrations, overwhelm, all the doubts, all the feelings of frustration, all this anger that I didn't even know I was holding on to. All this lack of energy physically. All these to-do lists that are on my mind. All these changes that are going on in my life, in my relationships, in my work, personally, professionally, these challenges right now. All these things that I need to do, all these things that I need to get done. I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. I feel so lost. I feel so stuck. I don't seem to be able to move past it. I'm so sick of being aware of it and not knowing what the heck to do about it. I'm so tired of being this way. I'm so tired of feeling this way. I'm so tired of these challenges. I'm so upset and angry. All these things that have been going on in my life. And I know what they are. And I know the people involved that may have had something to do with this, that may have even contributed to this. Family, parents, children, bosses, relationships, personal, professional. All this stuff that's going on with me physically, emotionally, mentally. I'm choosing to honor everything that's going on with me, because that's what's going on with me. And my body is letting me know this is what needs addressing. What if I could feel safe right now to release, let go, clear out, empty all these upsetting feelings, thoughts, limiting beliefs about myself, about what's possible for me, all the negativity, all the stress, all the worries. What if it's okay? And what if it's safe to release and let go, to clear out? How would that be? How would my body feel if I could release and let go of all that stuff? Because really, it's all in my head. It's all going on inside of me. And it's up to me to do something about it. And only I get to keep it or release it. I know it's costing me in different ways, holding on to these feelings and not even knowing that I'm holding on to these feelings, and then being aware that I'm holding on to these feelings and still keeping them stuck. What if I could allow and ask and request my subconscious mind that I'm feeling safe now to release and let go of the pain, of the anger, of the overwhelm, of the resentment, guilt, shame, all that I've been holding on to from yesterday, from the last week, from weeks ago, from decades ago. What if I could release? What if it's safe to clear it now? What if I don't have to tag along all that negativity inside of me and carry it into my every present moment? What if I don't need to carry it as I step into the next moment and the next moment and the next moment? What if I could be free and feel free moving forward? Who would I be if I could offload this baggage right now? What would be possible for me? What would I try? What would I be open to? What am I blocking myself from receiving that might become available to me as I release and let go? Whatever it is that I've been holding on to consciously or subconsciously. Wouldn't it be nice to feel free moving forward? Wouldn't it be nice to feel light? Wouldn't it be nice to feel clear-minded? Wouldn't it be nice to feel free-flowing, to be in the flow, to go with the flow, to breathe in peace? Wouldn't it be nice? I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing to feel safe, releasing and letting go of everything consciously that I'm aware of, subconsciously that I'm not aware of, and allowing myself right here, right now, to be in peace. Just put a hand on your heart. Take a deep breath in. And notice that anything that's, it's peaceful outside. It's peaceful. And you can have that peace, that feeling of peace right here, right now. Right here, right now. You're okay. You're safe. You're at peace. And so you can step into the next moment feeling a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more peaceful, a little bit more, allowing more of the energy to flow through you, to move forward into your day. So that's a round of tapping. I put in words that just come. And so, you know, if you are playing along right now live, then I would love to know what came up for you. What's your number at? Is the easiest one to answer. If it was a 5, does it feel like, you know, what does it feel like? So 10 was like, I'm feeling really upset and tensed and sad and worried and angry and physically at a lot of dis-ease. And 0 was the other end. What's your number right now? What came up for you? You know, normally memories might come up, images might come up, because your subconscious has that data stored in it. And so as you're allowing it to release and let go, there might be memories that came up, there may be flashes of instances that came up. Maybe you felt some discomfort coming up. I have clients who say, you know, I feel like this thing in my throat is dry, or my chest feels heavy, I feel this weakness in my ankles, or whatever is going on physically. If you notice changes, it's okay, because it's a release and your body is just communicating with you through those symptoms and letting you know that, you know, this is where it's lodged. This is where the discomfort is lodged. This is where the feelings are lodged, right? So this is another deeper way to tap, and you can use this over and over again every single day. Okay, you can use this over and over again. Feelings of emotional pain in my body came up, in my gut, and lots of yawning and eyes watered. Yep, yawning is one of the, you know, easiest way to know that you are releasing. You do your yawn, and when you yawn, it's like some block opens up and you have this release, right? So if you're yawning, if your eyes are watering, these are all signs that you are releasing that stuck feeling. And you know, you cleared up some space within, which was like, you know, where there was a clog of stuck energy, and you released it, and it dissipated, and it, you know, you had a release. So thank you for sharing that, Ram. And if you had a release, and if you had like something come up for you, maybe there's something still stuck there. I'm just looking at the time. We're way past you know, the time, but I knew this would be a long one. So I hope that, you know, you will give this a go, and remember that whatever is going on with you physically, whether it's depression, whether it's emotional stuff like depression and anxiety, or it is stress, or it's a physical symptom, or whatever is going on with you, it's a disease, right? You can use these 2 techniques. The breathing technique is so easy, right? You just focus on the breathing, and then you give yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. So you know that you made some progress. It's just a test for you, not for me, right? And then you can do this tap along. So this video will be posted in my YouTube, in my Facebook, and in my website, and the different places, you know, in social media. And feel free to use this technique daily. And all you have to do is take a mental inventory, take a physical inventory, take an emotional inventory, and clear out. You know, it's some people tend to say, Shalini, why are we focusing on the negative? Should we be positive? Shouldn't we be thinking of all the positive things? And I am so much for thinking positive and shifting your perspective and moving forward with positivity. But, you know, if you've got chronic pain, and if you've got chronic anxiety, or you've got any kind of dis-ease, there is dirt lying under the carpet, and you can keep ignoring it. Or, you know, you can bring the dirt out and clean it, right? So if you are like with no chronic pain and nothing going on, still every single day you can use this technique. Why? Is because there is not a day usually we have those random days where like everything just works so perfectly, right? But on a daily basis, you go through, you wake up, you get an email, you get a text, you have interactions with people and office and personal, and you call your parents, or you have a chat. And so many, so many emotions, so many physical, mental, emotional landscapes we go through on a daily basis, that we do collect dirt. You do get sweaty, even physically every day, and you go for a shower, right? So this is like a mental, emotional shower that you do, and you keep cleaning yourself to stay in flow. And when you're in flow, then things work in your life. Relationships work in your life. Your health works. Your body works. Your relationships work. Your work works. Your job works. Your money works. And everything works better, right? So just as you take a mental, as a physical shower, think of it as you're detoxing. You're taking an emotional, physical, mental shower, and you can use both these techniques. And I hope you got a lot of good stuff out of this sharing. Thank you for joining me. If you have questions, please post them below. If you have, I might do another follow-up to this. I might not. It depends on how many questions I get, and if it's really specific. So do feel free to post the questions that you have, and please share your experiences, and share this with others in your life that you love, that you value, that can also benefit from this sharing. And if you are someone who is feeling stuck and feeling, have a chronic illness or a chronic pain, and you would like a more personal support, one-on-one support, I have posted a link below, above, not below. So go click on that link, and I will be happy to talk to you, to help you get to the core of what's going on with you specifically for you, so that you can begin to heal and get tips and tools that way. So feel free to connect with me through the link above. And thank you so much. Smita says, really great to see you and listen to you today. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you for sharing, Smita. Thank you for playing Ram. And thank you for joining, whether you joined me live. I haven't acknowledged all the wonderful people: Gaurav, Lata, Cindy, hi Cindy, BJ, Bita, Vijaya, Anoop, Lynn, Manisha, Jeffrey, Suman, David. Thank you so much for joining live, and I hope you got something out of it. Please share this video, and feel free to connect with me one-on-one if you're need expert guidance. And I will be there next week again, whether with a live tapping, depends, or with another tip, story, and strategies to help you move forward and be the best version of yourself, to have great health, to feel confident, and do my little bit that I have garnered over the 10 years, and support you in the best way that I can. So thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next week at 11 a.m. This has been a long one, but I hope you got a lot out of it. Bye guys. Thanks so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.